Right now, I'm joined with Home Command Officer Dean. Hi, Dean. So, would you please explain us about the situation which happened here, and then the follow-up, what is going on?
Yeah, you can see surrounding these buildings right here, extensive damage to the residential buildings. This is a result of the latest barrage of Iranian missiles to target, once again, residential communities. We've seen that's the target. We've seen that's the pattern. They have no problem murdering their own civilians, so they have no problem showing the world that they're also murdering ours. The missile itself landed in between multiple residential buildings, and that's what absorbed most of the impact. But you could see the damage to the building caused from the blast. Now, we're talking about upwards of 88 injured, including children, but luckily there were none killed at the time, mainly because people listened to the instructions of the Home Front Command. They had protected shelters and they were able to go inside.
So, most of the time, we have seen that when the missile come and after the siren, the people go to the shelter, the bomb shelter. What happened here? The people were not in the bomb shelter, or the people were could not get notification at the time.
Right now, this is the time that assessments are being conducted to establish what exactly took place, but it takes away from the actual reality of what took place here. A residential community was targeted. We've seen the Iranian regime target holy sites in Jerusalem. We've seen them target major roadways, and once again, we've seen them target residential communities. And the goal right here by them is to kill as many civilians as possible, and that needs to be emphasized.
So we have seen the use by the Iran, the cluster munitions, and now we are seeing the how they are targeting the civilian area. So what do you think that now their like the target is shifted from military assets to the civilian area? What is the purpose behind it? What is your
I
assessment?
think from the very beginning, their main target was civilians. That's what we've seen. We've seen it in Tel Aviv district, in the south, in Jerusalem. They're targeting that's the only reason to use a cluster missile. This is something that in the air over kilometers to maximize the amount of damage.
How do you manage like the each and every places like how the ambulances reach here, how the you guys are helping to the people and who actually need for a minute every minute every second is very much important. How do you guys manage this?
This is something that we've trained on for months, and also in the weeks coming up to this operation, we increased our amount of training so that way we can speak the same language as the other first responders. When we first arrive to these scenes, many times it's police officers because we're on patrol anyways. And so when we arrive to the scene, we go into the buildings, we start removing any civilians who are trapped underneath rubble, who are in shock and don't understand what's happening. We try to get them to safety. And then our bomb squads go in because many times when we're talking about cluster missiles, for example, we need to neutralize them. Many times they don't explode. And so it's still very dangerous. And then we bring in the Home Front Command, who goes from floor to floor, apartment to apartment. They use dogs, they use drones. So that way we can get the civilians out as fast as possible and get them to medical attention.
Right now, I'm joined with Adam, who is an officer from Home Front Command. So, Adam, would you please explain about the situation here and then what happened exactly?
So what you see here is after the fact, pretty much. We were here last night. We were until pretty much 5 a.m. We had a troops of the IDF search and rescue teams from the Home Front Command arrived here after we were notified that Iranian missile struck here. We actually came here straight from Dimona, where another Iranian missile struck, causing altogether hundreds of people that were injured, hundreds of people that were evacuated and currently being situated in hotels while we operate in those scenes. You can see the damage that those Iranian missiles, the ballistic missiles that weighs hundreds of kilograms, are causing, while this Iranian regime that dangers globally everybody are targeting innocent civilians and center of populations, and you can see the damage that those missiles causing.
So, Adam, most of the time it happens like whenever the missile come and then after the siren or after the alert, we all go to the bomb shelter. So, if I talk about this person, this incident, so the people were not in bomb shelter, or what happened? How so many people become injured?
Well, actually, the ones that went to the shelters were left scratchless, and the ones that were injured were the ones that didn't get to the shelters. So we are doing a lot of efforts in our Home Front Command, to do a lot of outreaching and explaining the danger. Obviously, the Israeli population are witnessing the danger of the Iranian missiles, and we encourage our people to make sure that they are listening to the home front command's advice, and obviously to get a shelter as soon as they hear the alarm.
So, like here, the people were not in the shelter who
The
are
ones
injured.
that, the ones that were hurt were not, as far as we know, were not inside shelters.
One more thing, like everyone is talking about the capability of Israeli air defense system. So then, how you missed it?
Well, how we missed it is we actually have one of the best, if not the best, aerial safe one in the world. But there's no 100%. So we managed to intercept over 90% of the missiles that were shot towards Israel, and we will make sure that we will do a better job in the future. But we keep investigating every time that something like that happens. We investigate why it happened and try to improve in the next time.
I was also in the Dimona, and then I saw that the devastation happened there. And as you were mentioning that from Dimona you came here directly, and then you responded and helped the people. So, like, if you compare the Dimona with Arad, what is the difference?
Well, if you've been in Dimona, you will see that most of the houses that were private houses was more than private houses neighborhood. Over here, you can see there are more buildings. There's a lot of cemeteries with the amount of people that were actually injured in both cases. But there is a higher number of structures that were affected in Dimona than here. But I don't want to get to into the numbers.
Okay, that's
So-
all the time
yeah,
we have. I'm sorry.
yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Adam. Nice talking to you.
I invite the foreign press to look all around you. Tell me if you see any military targets in the neighborhood. What the Iranians are doing is targeting civilians. They're trying to kill our people. The United States and Israel now targeting in Iran only military operatives. What they're doing is trying to kill our people because this is what they are. This is a terrorist regime, and we are fighting a just war against people who are trying to kill women and children and the elderly. This is what you see behind me. Thank you.